G'day guys, this is Tyr, back with a different style of video again. Basically today I'm going to be doing a deep dive into what weapons I think absolutely need to be added into Fallout 76. Let's get straight into it. Number 1. To start it all off would have to be the Bozar rifle from Fallout 2 and New Vegas. This thing is a powerhouse and just all-rounder amazing weapon. It's basically a light machine gun with a sniper rifle scope fully integrated into the weapon. I think this would be a damn fine addition to the heavy gunner line of weaponry in 76 for many reasons, but mainly due to it forcing the user to use a scope on a high fire rate heavy weapon. This thing had incredible stopping power while remaining fairly balanced, and I would love to see this weapon return and add a lot more variety into the wasteland with the heavy weapon playstyle. Number 2. Now this one might be a bit controversial since it could technically be law-breaking. I'm of course talking about the Tesla cannon from Fallout 3. No, not the downgraded version from Fallout New Vegas, and certainly not the overpowered glitchy mess from the Fallout 4 Creation Club. I'm talking a hard copy, and as close as possible of a recreation from the Fallout 3 version as possible. The reason this may be law-breaking is because technically these things weren't fully created and mass-produced until the Brotherhood of Steel obtained the Tesla coil and completed its design in Fallout 3's Broken Steel DLC, an odd 175 years after the events of Fallout 76. So yeah, it's probably law-breaking, but let's face it, that didn't stop Bethesda from adding in the Tesla rifle and cryolator weapons, or even the Enclave Hellfire paint job, all of which have extremely detailed lore depicting the year of their creation, which are again at least 175 years into the future from where Fallout 76 takes place. But despite that, I still would personally love to see this thing get added, especially if it's a faithful recreation of the power demonstrated from the Fallout 3 version, complete with the ability to destroy vertibots in a single shot. I would absolutely love to see the Tesla cannon make a return, and it would add so much for the heavy gunner skill tree. Now number 3 is going to be a bit of a combo. Basically, in short, we need SMG'S, a lot more SMG'S. As it stands right now, we have the Tommy gun and a 10mm SMG. That's it. But we need more. We need the 9mm, we need the .22 silenced SMG, we need the 12.7mm SMG. Just adding weapon variety to a pretty lackluster class of weaponry is a pretty resounding positive in my eyes. I personally would love to see some classic SMGs from New Vegas and Fallout 2 return. Also, while we are on the subject of SMGs, add a damn silencer to the 10mm SMG Bethesda. That's all for number 3. SMGs. More of them, yes. And number 4 would undoubtedly have to be a rocket launcher. And no, I'm not talking about that junk jet thing from Fallout 3 and 4. I mean an actual launcher that fires high-yield explosive rockets, similar to the one we have available in the Lonesome Road DLC from Fallout New Vegas. This thing would have a large magazine capacity, being able to hold up to 13 rockets, while also being fully automatic. This is a clear distinction from the missile launcher, which can have up to 4 missiles per reload and is single fire in nature, as well as the Hellfire missile launcher, which got added in Steel Dawn. Very different categories of weapons, as you would no doubt know of if you've used one of these in New Vegas. So this would have an entirely different functionality than the already present explosive weapons, adding a lot more spice and variety to a very dull and underused weapon category, that being naturally explosive launchers. Now having the rocket launcher make a return would be awesome in my eyes, and I hope you all agree. Number 5 is going to be another combo, like the SMG combo section. This is because I'm now talking about pistols to add, and let me just say I could have a whole top 10 wishlist video on just pistols to be added into this game alone, so I figured it's best to compile them all into one part. But yes, there are a lot of pistols from past Fallouts that are absolutely should be added in this game already, but for some reason they aren't. And when you really take a look at it, the pistols we do have in Fallout 76 are immensely lackluster. So I'm again going to be heavily referencing New Vegas because they pretty much hit the nail on the head with weapon variety perfectly. But we basically need the 9mm pistol, the 12.7mm pistol, silenced .22 pistol, we need the .45 automatic pistol, we need the 357 Magnum, hell, we even need the 5.56 pistol. There are just so many great pistols that need to be added into this game from previous Fallouts. Not to mention the Desert Eagle from Fallout 2 should make a return. It's been so long, and I feel like fans deserve a Desert Eagle in their life. But aside from these additions, there's one last pistol I think deserves mention. The Deliverer from Fallout 4. And yes, I know it's a unique weapon and all that jazz, but what if they gave it the same treatment as they gave the Fixer rifle? And by that I mean, give it the same stealth legendary bonus by default, and then allow us to have legendary effects on top of that. It would just be like the pistol version of the Fixer. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't know. Maybe I'm asking for too much in this category, maybe it's a lot to digest for the pistol class of weaponry, but we do need a lot more love for the pistols in this game, and adding all of these classic and modern pistols from previous Fallout games into Fallout 76 is a giant leap in the correct direction. Especially if we get a pistol version of the Fixer rifle. That opens up so many possibilities for pistol stealth builds. Number 6, the Heavy Incinerator. Oh yeah, that glorious bastard. There's no way I'm forgetting to put this thing on my list. The Heavy Incinerator is a weapon from Fallout 3 and New Vegas. It is basically a long-range version of a flamethrower, but instead of just straight up blasting fire from the nozzle, it shoots a propelled fireball in a very long-range arc. Now this is a fan favorite to many, and I can see why. Honestly, if this weapon doesn't get added in the near future, then I'd be pretty disappointed to say the least. We all need this weapon in our arsenal, and I hope to God that it gets added and done correctly. Basically, a faithful recreation of the Fallout 3 version would be ideal in my eyes. Number 7 is a very underrated and not very well known melee weapon from New Vegas. This is the Thermic Lance, and you might be thinking, Tyr, what the hell is this? Well, it functions the same way as a Ripper would in Fallout New Vegas 3 and 4, where you would hold down the attack button and it deals continuous melee damage. But this weapon deals that damage through pressurized oxygen. It's actually an industrial tool used for heating, welding, and most notably cutting through even the toughest of metals. This weapon was always so mesmerizing to me whenever I played New Vegas, and I would love to see it return so that I can literally rip, melt, and tear through enemies with my melee character. Number 8 is going to probably make a few of you mad, and believe me, I understand and I completely get it. And I don't think I could justify my choice here in any way other than the fact being that I just really want this weapon to return, purely as a meme weapon. I'm talking about the BB gun. Yes, the weapon that is specifically designed to do no damage and to be a tutorial weapon for you when you're a child in Fallout 3. Yes, I know it's a stupid and useless gun, but come on. I think it would be hilarious running around Appalachia with an absolute joke of a weapon. Just popping off little BBs into super mutants and Scorched would be extremely entertaining for me, and I'm sure a lot of you wouldn't mind it too. Just add a little bit of fun and spice and variety into the wasteland. Like, imagine if we get a bloodied explosive BB gun. I think that could be pretty entertaining. Number 9 is going to be dedicated to energy weapons. We need more and better ones. All we have right now are laser guns, plasma guns, and the Gatling variants of the mentioned weapons. Whatever happened to the pulse weapons from Fallout 2, like the pulse rifle and the pulse pistols? I feel like they should make a triumphant return. Using a pulse rifle would be immensely entertaining, especially when fighting robotic enemies, assuming they carry over the extra damage to robots effect that has been established from New Vegas with other pulse items. I just think that this would be a great weapon to have, and I think that it would be great for the game to have a third class of energy weapons instead of the generic laser and plasma. We've got pulse grenades, why not bring back the pulse weapons? And last but not least, at number 10 lies probably an all-time fan favourite, the anti-material rifle. And yes, I'm talking about the correct one from Fallout New Vegas, not that cheap ugly ass knockoff version from the Fallout 4 Creation Club. That thing is not the anti-material rifle we all know and love. The one from New Vegas is a cult classic and a fan favourite. It is a bolt action 50 caliber high velocity sniper rifle, and if they ever do reintroduce it into Fallout 76, they should make its stats reflect that of what it is and what it was in New Vegas. The reason I say this is because the Creation Club version in Fallout 4 was actually less powerful than a hunting rifle. Yeah, I don't know what universe that makes sense in, but I think this weapon absolutely needs to get added to the game and be true to its New Vegas counterpart by looking as visually close to the original as possible and also retaining the power level it represented in New Vegas. Meaning huge damage per shot capabilities with an insanely high recoil kickback and moderately slow fire rate to balance it out. Personally, I'd love to see this weapon in 76, and it would probably make me use the Rifleman perk cards again over the Commando playstyle. I hope to see it sometime in the future. So yes, that's it for my top 10 list of previous Fallout weapons I'd love to see make a return to Fallout 76. Yes, I also am aware of the fact that most of these weapons are straight from Fallout New Vegas, and who am I kidding, most of them are. It's not my fault that that game just had so many gorgeous and beautifully designed weapons, and almost all of them need to return in my opinion. Also, I'm not blind to the fact that most New Vegas weapons are Fallout 2 weapons, so it's kinda two birds, one stone. But yeah, I could have done this top 10 just purely on New Vegas weapons, that's how good they are. But anyways, as you can see, I do have weapons from Fallout 2, 3, and 4 in this list also. If you agree with me or disagree with me, then be sure to leave a comment and tell me exactly why. In fact, why don't you all tell me what weapons you'd love to see introduced into 76 at some stage as well? I'd love to know your thoughts. Anyways, that's going to do it for me guys. If you're new here, then remember to subscribe and stay up to date for all the new content. And if you enjoyed the video, then click that like button as well. These legends on screen are my channel members and Patreon supporters. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. If you'd like to be among them and have your name at the end of every video as well as other bonuses, then consider supporting the channel through the links in the description. And while you're down there, check out my Discord, Facebook and Twitter. I've been Tyr, and I'll catch you in the next one. Welcome to Valhalla.